Well, hello there, my friends. Hope this day finds you safe, healthy, happy, and thriving. Just enjoying your life, whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing it. Just making life the best you possibly can of your existence. I hope that's what your reality is this day and every day. What do we got today? Today is Thursday, what is it? It's July 27th, 2023. Lots going on in the world, lots going on in my life. I hope there's lots going on in your life, and I hope it's all positive. There's the purpose of this show, Vibrant Living, by the way, a little CBD infused coffee here. The purpose of my show is to just talk about living your best life. Whatever that looks like. In the future here, I've talked about this before. In the future, I really want to have more guests on. I've had some great guests on here. Lisa Wimberger, Lisa Thomas, Dr. Sue Morter, Sue Frederick. They were all great inspirational people that are absolutely living their best lives. And I want that to be what this show is all about all the time. But today, I just have some things I want to talk about. I don't want to say they're random thoughts, because they're really not. They're thoughts that have been percolating in my head for a little bit of time here. I mentioned, I think last week and maybe the week before, I have been revisiting an old friend here, a book called Practicing the Presence by Joel Goldsmith. It's a book, actually, we originally had to read this in practitioner training for the Centers for Spiritual Living out at Mile High Church in Golden, Colorado, Lakewood, Colorado. Great book about always recognizing the presence of God and the different ways that we can recognize that presence and the different ways we can practice that presence. And trust me when I tell you, it's a practice. It's always a practice. And in conjunction with that, I also have revisited another old friend, which was Creative Mind and Success by Ernest Holmes. And very much, there's a tie-in there between the two books. Holmes's stuff was always about the presence of God within. And practicing the presence is, the idea is this, and I think this is a combination of Holmes and Joel Goldsmith as I say it, but the idea is to create this nest, if you will, this place, this like the great song, Surely the presence of God is in this place. To be knowing that God is in this place, always in this place being the center of my being, recognizing that there is only God, that there can only be God, that there is, it's when you talk about the creation story, on the first day, God created this, blah, blah, on the seventh day, he rested, all of that. If God was creating all of these things, if God, the overarching creative intelligence of the universe, was creating all of these things, what was God creating out of? What was the raw material for God? God didn't have an almighty Home Depot or Lowe's. There had to be resources. And what were the resources? The resources were only one thing. If it's all God, the resources were God itself. So all of creation is God in one form or identity or recognizable system or whatever. It's all God. In knowing that, in recognizing that, then the key piece is to have this nest be a place where that divine presence can go forth and create anew, which is how Holmes puts it. I love that idea. If we recognize that everything, and I keep saying recognize way too much, if we know that everything is twice created, it is created once in mind, it is created once in the infinite ocean of possibilities in the quantum field. If everything is created twice, it is created once there, and then it is created in manifestation as we align with it and bring it forth into our reality. That's it. The other piece of that puzzle, if we're going to have this place within, if we're going to have this place where we are creating this nest, okay, and I'm just checking something here, okay, and we're going to create this space where we're clear. God is always present. God is at the center of my being, at the core of my being. God is in, around, and through me, as we teach in metaphysics. Rather than God is everywhere we teach, there's no place where God is not. That means every cell of your being. the spaces between the cells of your being, the spaces between the cells of the components of my computer, everything is God informed. If we know this, then my challenge, what has gotten my attention, is seeing the God presence, not just in the trees and the wildlife and the garden and my incredible blueberry orchard out in the backyard here. It's seeing that presence of God in everyone, not just everything. Ernest Holmes defines spirituality in one sentence. Spirituality is the constant and consistent attempt to see the presence of God in everyone and everything. It's my favorite definition of spirituality because it is direct, straight to the point. It is about as concise as it can possibly be. And that is what spirituality is. That is it is that seeing the presence of God. It is what I was going to say here is it is, to me, the key piece has always been the constant and consistent attempt to see the presence of God in everyone and everything. And what that means is, to me, is that it's more important to always be trying than it is to be focused on the accomplishing. Always be aware. Always be taking that next step into recognizing that presence of God in everyone and everything. And that is everyone. Everyone. It is in the people that you disagree with. It's in the people who don't look like you. It's in the people who don't worship like you. It's in the people who don't think like you. It's in the people who don't vote like you. It's like it's in everyone. And that, to me, is my biggest challenge. I have done something that I had I've sworn off of this, I don't know, pick a number, man, 1,000 times. A little bit more CBD infused coffee. 5 milligrams of CBD in every single cup. I love it. One of the things I love about it is I can have a cup of coffee at this hour. I mean, it's 4 o'clock here on the East Coast, and I can have a cup of coffee at 4 o'clock, a cup of this coffee at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't keep me awake at night, which regular coffee, that's not going to be the case. So what have I done that I had sworn off of? I did this in, I can't even remember. I think I maybe started swearing off of this after 2008, maybe. So it's been a while that I've been wrestling with this thing. Political conversations. I wear my politics on my sleeve. I'm 72 years old. I will tell you exactly what my politics are. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you dislike it. I don't care if we agree or disagree. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference to me. The truth is, I am a screaming progressive at this point in my life. And I have gone different places. I've gone from liberal to conservative. I really tried being a conservative at a point in time when I was making a lot of money. I kind of started thinking about that tax thing, and it was all about me. Of course, it was only about me cutting my taxes, which is what, the right is famous for, cutting taxes on everybody who's making good money. Everybody else can go to hell, but taxing people who are making good money. I tried being conservative, and then there was a certain president who shall remain, or candidate who shall remain nameless, whose initials were W. It scared the bejesus out of me, and that was the end of my attempts to be conservative. And I moved back into the liberal camp, and I have become more and more liberal as I've gotten older, as I embrace more of a woke mindset. Woke to me is just simply caring about other people, as opposed to to me, the right is always looking from the standpoint of what's in it for me, and the left is much more concerned with what's in it for them. And I don't necessarily mean politics. I mean liberal versus conservative mindset. But I get involved in the political conversations, and I always, without any question, without any doubt, 100% I get the same result. 100% of the time, regret. I am annoyed at myself that I have been carrying on a political conversation for 4 or 5 days now with 3 or 4 people one person who I know and a couple of his minions that I don't know, that are, it devolves from contradictory points of view into vague insults, into semi-name calling, into name calling. It's all just bullshit. Pardon my French, but it's all BS, man. And I get involved and I get caught up, and they make a comment and I have to comment back. My ego has to be right. And the truth is, you've seen this. If you're a Facebook person, you've seen this meme 1,000 times that, wow, I listened to this guy's opposite point of political view from mine, and it changed my life forever. Said no one ever. No one changes their mind in a Facebook argument. Nobody, ever. And what I've always come to find out is, and it's probably just as true of people on the left as it is of people on the right, but everybody I argue with who's on the right, they don't want to hear what I have to say. They don't care what I have to say. All they want to do is spew what they have. And I wind up getting in the arguments, not with people who want to have a clear, I don't agree with you political conversation. I wind up getting involved with people who are deep into the conspiracies, deep into I'm not going to list them, deep into the BS, into the crazy, and I think we have to stop calling them conspiracy theories, because what they are is misinformation theories. What they are is attempts to muddy the water and play whataboutism to cover up for other things, deny and deflect, which is, that's the playbook of a particular person in politics that we're all familiar with, and that person shall go nameless. I'm trying not to say his name ever, but I get involved in these conversations, and I come away, I make the comment, and I'm like, so there, whatever. And shortly thereafter, I'm like, why am I doing this? What am I involved in here? And the only person in charge of that conversation, of course, is me. I stop doing it when I decide to stop doing it. Otherwise, I have chosen to participate and get myself involved in conversations that produce absolutely nothing of value, nothing of intelligent conversation, if you will. And I get myself caught up in that, and it gets me nowhere. It produces nothing. It accomplishes nothing except making me feel bad about me when I'm done. Now, that just doesn't apply to Facebook conversations. I mean, we all occupy that space once in a while where we do something, or we feel something, or we express something that we regret later on. And I think the most important piece of that is, okay, I've regretted it. What am I going to do about it? Am I going to continue to do it? That's my problem with the political conversations. I keep getting involved. What the hell is wrong with me? What am I doing? I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm not getting where. I've said that over and over here like 3 times. All I'm doing is creating a bad impression of myself with myself. Long ago in my workshop, I developed a thing I called catch and correct. And it's something I am using right now, this minute, on myself. I have caught myself doing this once again. And the objective is now not to denigrate myself, not to look in the mirror and tell myself what a schmuck I am. The objective is now to correct the behavior gently. I have promised myself in the past that I would not get involved in these silly, time-wasting, unbelievably bottomless rabbit hole conversations. And here I am again. And I am going to stop it now. In fact, I have actually taken upon myself, I'm doing a little ho'oponopono work on the people that I've had these arguments with, because eventually, if you get deep enough into these conversations, they piss you off. So now I need to do a little bit, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you work with each of those people, recognizing once again, back to the first point of today's talk, is that the presence of God is there. God is no more or less in any one than he is in another, or it is in another. There is as much God in each of one of those people that I am disagreeing with as there is in me. There is much God in and around and through them as there is in, around, and through me. There is only God there, as much an emanation of the divine as I am. There is much an individuation of the divine energy as I am. And I may, in a moment of absolute hubris, think that I'm smarter than they are, or I'm more informed than they are, or I know more about politics than they do, or I see the bigger picture better than they do. That may all be true, but who the hell cares? Practicing the presence is about knowing there is only God, including in those with whom I disagree, in those with whom I have argument, or in those with whom I get annoyed, or the car thing, cut me off in traffic. I was in the grocery store today. God bless these people. I was in the grocery store today, and I was actually there's a young lady that I know in the grocery store who I see once in a while. Her name is Gina. She's an adorable woman, and I wanted to go look for her. I saw her today, and we had a nice little conversation for a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, really. And I wanted to go find her again and say, so is Thursday like a big day for very old people to be coming to the stores? Is it kind of special? I ran into all kinds of very, very old couples. Now, understand, let's be clear. I'm 72 years old. When I say very, very, very old, these are people way older than me. And, not to be unkind, but maybe not in as good a shape as me, maybe a little bit infirm. My mother always used to say she can't stand going to the grocery store and seeing all these old ladies using the shopping cart as a walker. Well, I got behind some of those today. And I actually had to reroute myself and go down an alternate aisle and back up the aisle I wanted to go to because of two couples that were moving insanely slow, but also stopping every 2 steps to have a little bit more conversation. It was unbelievable. And I got really annoyed. Really annoyed. And I stopped and said to him, I said, you know what? That's not practicing the presence, man. That is not seeing the God in everyone. That is being judgmental, and it's just simply being all about me. So there was a lesson there. Then I had 3 stops today. I had to go get an oil change. I had to stop at Discount Tire and get my tires rotated, and then stop at the grocery store. The middle one was, the first one was getting my oil changed. Usually takes about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. It was noticeably not busy there today. They got me out in a half an hour. And that's at a dealership, at a Honda dealership. So Discount Tire is right down the block. So I figured, well, you know what? I can go and do the shopping first and come back, because my appointment to get my tires rotated was literally an hour and 45 minutes later. So I stopped at Discount Tire anyway. And I said, listen, I hope you can help me out. I have an appointment very blah, blah, blah later on. Got my oil changed very quick, and I'm hoping you can fit me in. Young guy says, very accommodating. No problem. We'll get you in. Well, my car sat out in front of the building for almost an hour. And I was not a happy camper. And I was a little bit annoyed. And I'm scrolling, of course, through, I'm using my magic thumb through Facebook. And I come across 2 different memes, one from Abraham, one from someone else. I don't remember saying, if the situation that you're in is annoying you, you need to do the best you can about changing how you're looking at it, making the situation pleasant. Make the situation better. You cannot change the situation, but you can change your perspective, obviously. And I had to change my perspective. So I was going to mention to make clear my disappointment that it took so long. But the truth was, they finished me up. I was out of there at 10:30, and my appointment wasn't until 10:45. So how annoyed could I be? So rather than be pissy and voice my negative opinion, I just thanked the young fellow who handed me my keys and went about my way. Another lesson learned. I am finding that more and more as I work on me, as I continue the work, and it's, boy, the work never stops, man. I just passed the 5th of January, 3 weeks ago now. I passed or celebrated, I really don't ever celebrate, 35 years of sobriety. And I have literally been working on myself since sobriety. And so 35 years for me, you would think you could put your feet up and go, okay, the work is done. Well, no, because every time you think the work is done, Spirit says, oh, really, Ken? How about when this kind of crap happens or this jerk shows up? What's your response to that? So the work never stops is the point. And So I was working on it today, pretty much through my 3 stops today. Actually, not the first one. Actually, the first stop, I'll tell you something. This is, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in business, part of being an entrepreneur is talking to everyone. If you're in network marketing, as I am, talking to everyone is imperative. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you're going to have to share the wealth, to give people the opportunity not only to try your amazing products, but also to perhaps create a side income for themselves and maybe even a life-changing income for themselves. And there's a lovely woman who works at the dealership who's kind of in charge of, she seems to be in charge of everything, actually. Her name is Lisa, and I adore her. And I asked her today, I had this brainstorm. I'm going to approach the sales manager of the dealership about an opportunity maybe to give a little reward or incentive to people for a test drive or whatever. And as I was telling her what it was, she was like, wow, really? I'd be interested in that. So I'm going to wind up sending her information on the same thing I was talking about sending to the sales manager, only because I had a conversation. And the only way you can have that conversation authentically is if the purpose is not just for me. It's got to be bigger than me. It's got to be something that I'm doing that's going to help somebody, going to make something better, it's going to make a situation better. It's got to be that, because if it's not, I'm wasting my time. If it's all about me, I mean, there's enough stuff going on in this world that's all about me. And it's got to be bigger than me. So that's just I guess a side thought. I had the conversation, get information about perhaps pursuing something for my business, and wound up with a potential customer out of it simply by explaining it. Talk to lots of people, befriend lots of people. Who was the first one, or it's attributed to someone that, and I think it's got to be, wow. It'll come to me eventually, but a stranger is just simply someone I haven't met yet. And I think that's a great, just a great way to look at life, a great way to look at things. My final piece for you today is, we hear a lot, and again, I'm not talking about politics here. Although, you know, in the world we live in, everything is politics, everything is political. It's not how I mean it today. But we've got people out there in the political world, in the people who are in a very, very, very negative way affecting our educational system. They are limiting what we can teach our children. They are redefining history. They are doing revisionist history to teach our children. And we have, you know, and the truth is, about an enormous amount of our history has been whitewashed. And I mean that literally, whitewashed, as in white people washed, because we are always the heroes. And, you know, that's not always the flippant case, folks. We have been less than kind and wonderful to our Native American brothers and sisters, and absolutely, totally, without question, our African American brothers and sisters. Or originally, our African brothers and sisters who we kidnapped and brought to this country and enslaved. And to not teach that history correctly. I mean, you've seen the meme, I hope, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, of Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks said he was talking to someone, and somebody mentioned something about the Tulsa Massacre, and Tom Hanks went, "What's the Tulsa Massacre?" And he was pissed off that he had never been taught that. He had never heard of it in his 50s or 60s. I didn't hear about it until I was in my 50s. That kind of stuff needs to be taught in schools. But to be cutting that out, to be doing a revisionist history in our teaching is wrong. And this new thing is, and this is, I guess this is the point for all metaphysicians, for all people of faith of any kind, to actually be teaching children that slaves learned great life skills that they could take forward into the world. To just to say that is such BS, it's mind-boggling. How about the 200 years of slaves that died before they ever had a chance to take these wonderful skills they learned into the world? To be doing that is wrong, It's evil. And let's be really, really clear. History has never been kind to the book banners and the history revisers. History's never been kind to them because they have always been authoritarians. They have always been dictatorially minded. And that's what we've got going on in this country. And I want to make a point. These people who are doing this are saying that liberal educators are indoctrinating our children. Misinformation, disinformation, flat out lie, whatever you want to call it. To be teaching our children things that we do not agree with personally is educating them. To be teaching them only things that we agree with is the very definition of indoctrinating. So don't tell me that people who are teaching our children about the horrors of slavery, the horrors of the Tulsa massacre, the horrors of all of these different things that have happened over the course, the horrors of the Holocaust, don't tell me that these people are indoctrinating our children. They're worried that our delicate little kids are going to feel bad about being themselves, about being white people, because they mistreated people in the past. They didn't mistreat anybody, but their ancestors sure as hell did. My ancestors did. Your ancestors did. And let's teach the history particularly where slavery is concerned, let's teach it as it really is. It's not 100% about the enslavement of Africans here in the United States by white people, because there are plenty of, well-off Africans in America who had slaves. But slavery goes back, the Bible is full of slavery. Slavery goes back millennia. In all wars, over territory, over ideology, over religion, whatever they were, the losers wound up being enslaved throughout history. Teach that. Teach the evil of that. Teach the wrong of that. Teach the presence of God in all those with whom you would enslave or denigrate or mistreat. That's it for me. That's all I got for you today. I hope there's something in there of value to you. I can see you folks are out there. If you've got a question, if you got a thought, if you got something you really want me to touch base about today, please let me know. Send me a comment here. I want you, of course, to be aware that the New Thought Media Network is, of course, a nonprofit organization. We live and breathe by your generosity. Whatever you deign to give us, we are grateful to receive. So go to newthoughtmedia.org. That's ntmedia.org. Click on donate. And again, give us whatever works for you. Of course, I always remember that the sponsor of this show is HempWorks. #1 direct-to-consumer distributor of CBD and hemp-infused products in the world. And the reason for that is really simple. It is the finest quality and highest potency CBD products you're going to find anywhere, both broad spectrum and full spectrum. Full spectrum, of course, has the legal limit of 0.3% THC or less. Broad spectrum has 0 THC, nothing to detect in your drug tests, or if you have one of those rare allergies to THC, there's nothing in there to get to you. 3 different potencies, 500, 750, and 1500 milligram in, it used to be 7 flavors. I think now it's like 10. It's like every time I turn around, there's new flavors. Check that out. Also part of HempWorks is my CBD infused coffee, 5 milligrams of CBD in every cup of coffee. There's also chaga mushroom in here and just good ingredients for your health and well-being. I also want to tell you something else. We have a product that it's right here. It's a little straw stick. They don't call them straw sticks anymore. They call them something else, but it's called XE Trim. The E is very tiny in there. XE Trim. I want you to know that's in my water bottle every single day. There's a little bit of energy boost in there, but there's also a little bit of appetite suppression in there. It helps me and it makes your water taste great. But it's something, I have one of these in my water bottle every single day. In fact, I take this in my water bottle to my workout on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the gym. I put this in my water bottle beforehand and drink it while I'm at the gym. I also wanted to just tell you about one other item that I truly love. This is part of the My Daily Choice umbrella. This is part of the, I don't know if you can read that, the Body Melt System. It's a capsule called Burn. It is about increasing your metabolism and helping you to metabolize your food or whatever you eat better. So there's that. And of course, HempWorks is the sponsor, but all of those other products are part of the greater parent company or the umbrella company, which is there's the thing for Body Melt, but it's My Daily Choice .com/Ken Ludwig, and that will take you. I don't know why I have Lisa Thomas's stuff up there. She's not here today. MyDailyChoice.com/Ken Ludwig. That'll take you to my page, and you'll be able to see all of our products and purchase whatever it is that you'd be interested in. If you want to find me on Instagram, I am evolving_hippie. I hope I am an evolving hippie. I hope I'm always an evolving hippie. And I haven't done much on Instagram in a long time. I keep swearing I'm going to do something, and I haven't done a damn thing in quite a while, but we'll see what happens there. If you want to reach me, teamrockitnow@gmail.com. Or you can find my beloved Lisa and I on our branded Facebook page, Vibrant Aging, which of course goes hand in hand with this show, Vibrant Living. Vibrant Aging is of course part of Vibrant Living and vice versa. They work together. So, and finally, where is it? There it is, the donation piece. We are always grateful for whatever you choose to bestow upon us by way of donations. ntmedia.org, click donate, and we are thrilled to get whatever it is you deign to give to us. We are happy for that and grateful for it. So, as always, I am immensely grateful for the great gift of your time and your attention. I wish you all the love and all the blessings the universe has to offer. I hope you will join me next Thursday and every Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Mountain Time. But until then, my friends, namaste.